comes out and talk about the policy issue with the land use requests. And other than that, absent any questions, we will make sure that people are aware of the extended public comment period, and staff and consultants will get to work on responding to comments.
Supervisor Pinches.
Well, contrary to Adrian's direction here, I have to say a few comments. This is something it's nothing new. I brought this up before this whole general process was started in 1998, which is, 10 years ago now. And I see nothing in this document, and it's more of an issue today than it was 10 years ago, and that's the issue of we don't have a clear policy on our certificates of compliance. We have all this whole document full of policies and everything, and it's the biggest issue because we have a lot of large ownerships out there, like that are in timber production or even large ranches, and they have the ability to be basically illegally subdivided into whatever the patents are, and just for a small fee they can go out to get it done. For instance, we have a lot of these large ranches that are subdivided right now that they were issued the certificate of compliance, and they got assigned an assessor's parcel number so it could be bought and sold, but they're still non-conforming, so they can't. A person can't. They're what they call illegal in an illegal subdivision. The county took the money and allowed it to happen. Now they call them illegal parcels, so they can't get a building permit because they bought 40 acres that was under a certificate of compliance. This needs to be addressed because now that basically the timber industry is, somebody said the other night, where it's not in a depression. The timber industry is actually or not in a recession, but in a depression, which it certainly is. And there may be a lot of these large timber tracts or large ranches with no viable income from timber that has one recourse, and that's to split them up under the certificates of compliance. And we don't have a clear policy how that works. We take their money and let it happen under the law, but then after somebody buys a 40-acre parcel, if it's in a 160-acre zoning, like I say, we take their money and recognize it as a legal parcel, but yet they can't put a cabin or something on it because the county won't give them a building permit. That's happening right now. And it's a huge issue, and it's going to get bigger as if our resources base don't come back and people be able to, you can't pay this high property taxes on property you can't do nothing with if you can't harvest timber with a regulatory process and a bad market. So people are going to turn more and more to the cheap way to subdivide, and that's certificates of compliance. And we don't have a clear policy on how they operate. We got this whole book of policies here, but nothing to do with the main issue. And, last time I brought it up, it was told, well, this isn't the time. Well, it's kind of getting down to the end. This is kind of the time. I don't know if it takes a clear policy at the building and planning or if it should be addressed in this document, but the fact of the matter is we don't have a clear policy how they work. And it's very unfair for a landowner that goes to a real estate company and buys a 40-acre parcel that he gets a legal deed to, and it's assigned assessor's parcel because all zoning, whether it's RR, whatever, rural residential, all has the ability to put a residence on. Then he goes into the building and planning department to get a permit, and they say, oh no, you're in part of an illegal subdivision. You can't get a building permit. How did he know that when he bought the piece of property?
Well, I guess we'll take that as a public comment that needs to be responded to.
Well, whether it's in this document or it's an issue with the building and planning department, but it certainly needs to be documented because it's been out there. It's been a problem for the last 10 years anyways, longer than that. And if some of this large ownerships decide to go in and get their certificates of compliance, it's going to be a lot bigger issue. And I think we'd be remiss in our duties to not. I'm not saying it has to be addressed in this process, but as a county, we need to address it because it's a huge issue.
Right, and I think in responding to it as a public comment, the response could be, it should be addressed over here, or maybe it fits here or whatever, but thank you. We'll look into that.
Other comments, concerns, discussion from the board? Okay, seeing none, hearing none. Let's see, any additional questions of staff and and/or concerns the public has brought up? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for one last discussion item. Okay. Any last items from the staff before I adjourn the meeting? Okay.
Did we report out from closed session that there was nothing to report
Yes, we
from this
did.
morning? Okay.
We took care of that shy of the attorney. So, nothing else before us. I'll adjourn the meeting and thank the staff for the presentation. Thank the public for turning out for the public hearing. Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for that wonderful dinner.
Tammy's bigger than you are. She'll whip you.